everybody. Welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
Today I thought we'd talk about Spider-Man Blue because we did Daredevil Yellow, and there's Captain America White that's out, and we're probably never going to do Hulk Gray, because screw that.
Well, I mean, it's planned. It's great.
Who cares?
Gross.
About the Hulk?
Have you ever read a Hulk story or heard one?
Yes.
There it is.
World War Hulk.
Oh, Hulk's sad, and then he wants to be with Betty, but damn it if he can't be with Betty. And that's too bad. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, if only I could be rid of my Hulk. You're not going to get rid of it, because Hulk sells books.
Right.
They can end Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because it's a goddamn book.
But, I mean, also at the same time, you can have Smart Hulk. They've
reinvented Hulk, so many times.
What else can you do with it, though? You could have Monster Hulk, then you can
Smart Hulk.
Well, now he's smart, okay.
You could have Bad Hulk, where he's like a dick.
Yeah.
That's a great Hulk.
He's stuck
That's
as
Mr.
Hulk, he
Fix-It.
can't change.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've done all that.
They've actually separated Bruce Banner and Hulk.
Oh.
So they're two different people.
Yeah.
They've done that. And then they had to put them back together.
The Stefan or Kel.
If they did that,
Yes.
the Hulk should have just been a mindless monster. Barely able to comprehend anything aside from rage and killing.
I mean, that is... Then he's not really a character. Then he's just a monster that you have to deal with.
Yeah, that's what happens when you take Bruce Banner out of the Hulk.
You can't do that very long, though.
No, that's the whole... See, that actually is Hulk interesting story, where is he nothing without Bruce Banner? And it's no, you find out that there is something else there. When you turn off Bruce Banner, or you separate Bruce Banner from the Hulk, and then the Hulk goes off, and he's just, lumbering around, and then, a train is gonna go off the rails, and Hulk fixes it. Who's that? Who's in there? There's something there that saved the people on that train. It proves that there's something else, that Bruce was wrong about the Hulk. That's actually something to explore. That's ground to cover. But, for the most part, we've done it all.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a brand new, neat Hulk story, it ain't Hulk Gray. Is it cool looking? Sure. Who cares? This is Spider-Man Blue, written by Jeff Loeb and art by Tim Sale. This came out in 2002. Same team from Long Halloween, from our amazing episode
Yes.
of our Halloween special. I don't know how we're going to top it. It's coming up. This is... really, really good. This is during, his color series. He did Hulk Gray, he did Daredevil Yellow, he's doing Captain America White, which was significantly delayed. It was supposed to come out around the same time as this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A little after this.
Well, so they had to totally change it, right?
No, it's these. That's what's so great about
set
these. These are all highlighting different points in the character's history.
Okay.
And it's funny, because, he plays fast and loose with continuity in all of them. And that's fine, because these are self-contained graphic novels.
Right.
That give you another perspective of classic moments. This is basically highlighting, the early years, year 3 of Spider-Man. He's in college, he dropped the glasses, but he's got girl problems. And the problems aren't that there aren't any. In fact, the problem is he's got an overabundance of women who are interested in him. The overabundance is 2, but... Right. As we all know, that
2 is a lot.
Yeah. That could be a problem. So, this is taking place around the same time. Okay, so it's set during Spider-Man's history when the Green Goblin, a.k.a. Norman Osborn, has discovered the true identity of Spider-Man, his nemesis, a.k.a. Peter Parker. And
what?
Yeah, back during...
Well, it just happens.
Stan Lee was so... Green Goblin one day just follows Spider-Man after a fight.
And wait a minute. What if I just follow him wherever he goes?
That's right! I have a flying machine! Why don't I just go up a little higher than he can see? And then there he goes into an alley, and he's just taking off his mask. And it looks like he's my son's college roommate. I guess I've got him now! And that's literally... And then he just goes and captures him. And there's this iconic cover of the Green Goblin flying through the air with Peter Parker tied up and dragged through the air from the Goblin glider, and his shirt's ripped and his Spider-Man costume's exposed, and you're whoa, this is crazy! And so you see that moment, and they have this epic confrontation where Green Goblin reveals that he's Norman Osborn. He's oh, my best friend's father is my greatest nemesis. What pathos!
Wait a minute, you're telling me that at no point did Spider-Man, after he defeated Green Goblin...
Take over his mask? No.
Who are you?
No. That's what I'm saying.
Nor did, like, the police or anybody get turned
No.
Here you go, he's the Green Goblin. Alright, process him as the Green Goblin.
Yeah, no, they never actually arrested him.
Oh, okay. He never really defeated him.
No, technically he's never been defeated.
I see.
I mean, he's been defeated since then. Like after Gwen dies, and then he impales himself on his own goblin glide.
Right.
He was certainly defeated then.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of taking place... Okay, so the story is framed much like Daredevil Yellow, where it's, Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, sad that his once and future girlfriend / wife or whatever, Karen Page, is dead, and he's like, I remember the good times. This is Spider-Man pre-One More Day, post-marriage, where it's Valentine's Day, and every Valentine's Day, according to Jeff Loeb in this self-contained graphic novel, so who cares, he goes to the Brooklyn Bridge where Gwen Stacy dies and he leaves a rose. And he reflects on his greatest failure. Mm-hmm. And he does this, and then he goes up to the attic at his aunt's house, and he finds these old, recording tapes. And he decides to, record his thoughts about Gwen. Kind of like recording an oral history of his once and future love. Of his one true love. His once lost love.
Right, because once in future he'd be like, well, she's coming back. Well, it's going to be fine.
Well, yeah. It's more like, maybe we'll be reunited in paradise or some shit.
Yeah, or an alternate,
Yeah.
Well,
he doesn't say, there's a multiverse, he'll probably be there somewhere.
I was going to say, that sucks for MJ.
Yeah, it's going to be awkward.
Don't worry, once I get to heaven, I'll hook up with Gwen again. What about me? What about you?
Yeah. Well,
there'll be, 2 versions of him or something.
Or something. The part that loves her the most will split off and become another.
One of them will be Spider-Man and one of them will be Peter Parker.
That's one of the creepiest things. That's one of the things I really hate about people's interpretation of Peter Parker is that he's this creepo who can never not love anyone else because he's in love with a dead person. Mm-hmm. It's kind of Cyclopsy. Where he's like, oh, Jean, if only I could be with you, even though I had mind-cheating sex with Emma Frost while you were alive, and then after you died, I went with her anyway. I don't know. I don't cotton to the idea that Peter Parker settled for Mary Jane.
Right.
It's more that he was in love with Gwen, and then she died, and then he moved on.
Right.
And yes, he's sad she's gone, and yes, she's his greatest failure. But it's not that he,
if she came back, he wouldn't, leave his wife.
And they established that actually in, the original Clone Saga, which we did an episode of in our live show from Garden State Comic Fest, where Jerry Conway got accosted by college students, and then Stanley's like, bring her back somehow, I don't care how. And so he clones her, and so she is back, and he's dating Mary Jane.
Right.
And he's like, ooh, this is, I'm with her now, so, you know. And he really is kind of well, I'm not going to, date you again.
I moved on.
I'm with someone.
Yeah.
And also, you're fucking dead.
You're like a ghost or something.
Exactly, you're a science ghost. So, establishing that idea of, in House of M, when Peter gets everything he ever wanted, and all he wanted was to be married to Gwen.
Right.
Fuck you. Gross. So in this, he goes up to the attic and he's recording on these little reel-to-reels, the oral history of his first love. Mm-hmm. And he kind of tells this story about back when he was a swinging bachelor in college, and we have this fun. It's everyone's idealized version of Peter Parker's past. Everyone's trying to catch that fire again.
Right.
Give him Archie Andrews drama, and that'll make it good again. It's no, it's a byproduct of its age. You can't do that again. Unless you
just go back in time.
Right. Unless you write a self-contained graphic novel in 2002, in which case you can, and that's what you do.
In which case when it's set in that time.
Right, and it's interesting because they make no attempt to, modernize it.
Right.
No. They don't say what year it is, but she's wearing go-go boots. And not ironically.
Right. She's not a fucking hipster.
Yeah, no. And Flash is Flash Thompson. This is right between the time when Flash Thompson goes from meathead jock douchebag to veteran.
Oh.
To war hero.
Right.
And okay, there's a lot of interesting ground to cover. So I'll just let you guys kind of look through it. But
sure.
The idea being, Peter Parker's in college. He's he wants to date Gwen.
Right.
And Mary Jane is here too. The odds are stacked against him because he has met this girl in his chemistry class who's really smart and beautiful and is like his, not only his intellectual equal, but also like she's smoking hot. Mm-hmm. And he wants to be with her, and his Aunt May, and her friend and next door neighbor Aunt Anna are desperately trying to hook Peter up with Aunt Anna's niece, Mary Jane. Oh. And Aunt May doesn't know the lingo. So when she describes Mary Jane to Peter, she says that she has a great personality. And Peter's like, oh no! So he actively tries to avoid meeting her throughout the entire story. Throughout the beginning of Mary Jane's history.
Right.
And each time, they almost cross paths, and Stanley can't wait to get Peter to meet Mary Jane because she's going to blow his mind.
Right.
Because while Gwen is very straight-laced and button-up and goody two-shoes, Mary Jane is a byproduct of that time.
She's a wild card.
She's a wild girl, and she loves that rock and roll music and roller skates or whatever those young people are interested in.
I bet she even hula hoops.
Right? She's a real free spirit, that's the idea. And she doesn't care who she pisses off with her freeness.
Right.
And
she's very liberated.
She's very liberated, exactly. Yes. And she does so when finally Peter's like, I'm going to ask out Gwen. Mm. And then there's a knock on the door, and he goes to the door, and there she is, Mary Jane in all her glory, and she says, face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot. And Peter winds up taking her on dates, and that's where we also have to establish that it's not contextualized in today's modern times, because
they're not going to bang.
Well, A, they're not going to bang.
It's not we're not going out on a date to all right, well, I took you to a movie and now we're going to bang in the back of my car. It's,
right.
No, I'm going to take you to dinner. We might go see a concert. I'm going to walk you home and bid you a good evening.
And we're not exclusive. Because we're going on dates, that doesn't mean that we're going steady.
Yeah, I could date other people.
Yes,
yeah.
And that was something that blew my mind as a high schooler. Mm-hmm. I got a girlfriend, and I'm like, well, that's it.
Right.
And my dad was like, who else are you seeing? And I'm like, oh, good sir, I am a one-lady gentleman.
Who do you take me for?
Yeah, and he's like, what are you talking about?
60s and 70s,
right.
fondly.
And he's like, you're 16, you should be dating at least 3 girls. Yeah. And I'm like, poppycock.
I will not stand for this nonsense.
Yeah, now as an older gentleman, I'm like,
shit,
I should have dated everybody. The funny thing is that the girls back then would have also been like, what a tomcat, fuck that guy. No,
yep.
A tomcat. Yeah, they used my colloquials.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that we missed those days.
Yes,
you can't just
be like, no. In the 50s and 60s, you could date many people, and once you gave them your ring or had they wore your jacket, then
when
you're going steady.
Yeah,
no, you have to go from one to another. You can't do that. And if you do, I'm sorry, but some of those ladies think you're a jackass.
Yeah, you might get slapped a few times.
Yeah. Nowadays, you might not get slapped. I think that the interpersonal relationships of people change. You might get defriended on Facebook.
See, I assume it's going to be just really hard to keep up that amount of social media.
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
I got to tweet and Facebook and text all these girls?
All these girls? No.
I'm not going to leave my phone alone. I'm going to break it.
Oh yeah, you'd be blown up.
Overuse.
I would argue it's actually easier now because you can maintain a relationship without actually seeing a person.
That's true.
But then why are you dating
them? But
and
texting on the other one?
Yeah.
That is Three's Company era level drama that I do not want to deal with. In the context of the story, Peter Parker's kind of narrating the story as a married man.
Right. Looking back on
this
is a total retelling, right? He knew Mary Jane, but they weren't or did he even know Mary Jane in the original continuity before Gwen died?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, Gwen and Mary Jane were friends
and stuff.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Well, Mary Jane and Peter's relationship in the actual continuity was kind of similar to what you see in Spider-Man Blue, where they went places together. They were more like friends, but with romantic intent, and Peter was very romantically conflicted between the two of them.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I think it's more amplified in this book than it was in the comics, but in the original comics, he's like, no, me and Gwen. Meh.
Right.
And Mary Jane kind of thrown in the mix to upset the balance, kind of throwing a monkey wrench into the story, creating drama and making the comic more interesting to read.
Right.
In this, it's very much Harry Osborn invites Peter to become his roommate. Because his dad, Norman Osborn, is a millionaire, he owns a lot of property, and he's got this big place. And Harry's a little bit of a partier too, and that'll be established later in the 70s in these comics as well, because he'll get addicted to pills. And an OD, and he'll go to the hospital. And then during that time...
say no, Harry.
I know. But, that
campaign didn't exist. Dare.
Incidentally...
super effective dare campaign.
And...
So he's a privileged,
Yeah, youth. And he thinks that if he brings Peter in, that it'll convince his dad that, things are okay. Because this straight-laced, loser, nebbish Peter Parker... I got him going.
Look, he lives here. Yeah. How crazy could it be?
And it's a great milestone for Peter Parker too, because he's moving out of his aunt's house and moving into an apartment, and what that will do and how that will change, and how he's this is really going to change everything, and he's really worried about Aunt May,
right?
And what that's going to do to her, because Uncle Ben died and she's all alone and she's living in the house in Forest Hills, and he's kind of should I leave? Or should I take care of Aunt May? And he kind of beats around the bushes around the subject, and she's no, you need to go. Ben would want you to be your own man, and
I imagine it's almost harder to keep up the Spider-Man persona if you're a roommate in an apartment, rather than if you're in Aunt May's home, because Aunt May is very as much as she loves Peter, in a way she's kind of hands off.
Well, she's
she has this room and she takes care of things, but sure, she does laundry, and sure, she cooks meals, but she's not so invasive in his life.
Oh, no, she is. That's why it's so dramatic and fun, because, she would be Peter, and open door, because she has no boundaries.
Oh, you don't do that to a teenage guy!
Yeah, you're really playing with fire here, Aunt May. I'm 17. I got magazines in here. You're gonna one of these days, Aunt May, you're gonna see something.
I'm just saying.
I get it, Peter. One of these days, you're gonna see me with my web shooters. No, but it adds new drama, because now Peter Parker's moving into an apartment, so it'll be great for him to come and go as Spider-Man, but he also has a roommate, and his roommate is the son of his greatest nemesis. So,
and he knows this.
And he knows that Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin.
Okay,
but after Green Goblin unmasks Spider-Man and is unmasked himself, they wind up in a warehouse fire / explosion, which conveniently gives Norman Osborn amnesia. So his secret is safe.
I was going to say, how does that get resolved?
In the 90s, when I was reading Spider-Man, that was a source of stress for me, because Harry Osborn had taken up the mantle of Green Goblin. He also knows he's Peter Parker, and he keeps saying I'm going to tell everybody, and I'm how is he going to keep this to himself?
Yeah, he's going to have to kill. Yeah. He's going to have to kill him.
He's going to have to kill him. I don't know how he's going to fix this. Venom, same deal, except Venom's I don't want to tell everyone, because then they will kill you, and I want the pleasure myself. Right. And also
I want to eat you, and I might not be able to.
Right.
Kills you.
Whoa.
He's also
Peter's not a Skrull. He doesn't just randomly eat people.
Venom.
Right. In the 90s.
I know, but Venom ate Skrulls.
Yes.
Well, he also talked about eating.
He did, but he never did, and he never would. He
except for that novel I read where he was eating hobos.
Yeah, you read that stupid novel. But even Venom had a twisted sense of morality, where he's your enemies are psychos who don't care about Aunt May, but I do. So if I tell Electro that you're Peter Parker, he'll kill your aunt, and that's not responsible. So
I'm a responsible supervillain.
Actually,
he becomes the
lethal protector.
Lethal protector. So
yeah, he sure was. So they put the genie back in the bottle with Green Goblin, and then we don't see Green Goblin for the rest of the story.
Oh,
because
does he kill Gwen?
No.
It's not this story.
No, this story is the life of Gwen Stacy.
Oh, so it doesn't end with her dying?
No.
Oh, wow. I guess it's just what happens.
No, it's just show the story of Spider-Man Blue is just Peter is the story of how Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy fell in love.
Ah, okay.
It just also happens to be a Spider-Man comic, and so it's a retelling of these 6 issues during Spider-Man's history, which happened to each introduce or establish colorful supervillains with huge fights in them.
Right.
And it just so happens that Jeff Loeb really plays on the whole animal element of Spider-Man's rogues. Mm-hmm. So in the story, Spider-Man is attacked by the Lizard, the Vulture, the Rhino, and he's
attacked by a lot of green people. In fact, they're all green.
Yes, they are. That has nothing to do with it. It's just they...
Wait, the Rhino's not green, is he?
No, Rhino's gray. But every Green Goblin, Scorpion, Vulture, Electro, everyone has a green suit.
Well, yes, the opposite of red.
Yeah, and also it's just striking. That's really it. It's just it looks good.
Yeah.
So the way that they kind of also Kraven the Hunter was a villain in those stories. So Jeff Loeb kind of retcons it a little bit by establishing that before the Green Goblin lost his mind or his memory, he hired Kraven the Hunter to defeat or destroy Spider-Man.
Okay.
And Kraven's plan is to put Spider-Man through the gauntlet. So Kraven manipulates all of Spider-Man's animal villains.
Oh, that's why.
He keeps fighting, and why Kraven is involved. In the original continuity, it's just that Spider-Man fought Vulture, Lizard, Kraven, whoever, and it had nothing to do with each other.
Right.
But Jeff's ooh, but they're all animals, and Kraven's the master of animals, so they'll all be involved. And it's kind of neat, and it's a little fun story. It is also played upon in Long Halloween. It's basically Long Halloween, where all the villains are being manipulated by an outside source.
Yeah.
He's going through a series of them.
And he has to defeat a villain in each chapter.
Is Kraven really the master of animals?
Well, he's a hunter of animals.
He kills animals.
Yeah.
Right, he defeats them.
Making them...
Well, he asserts dominance over them.
So it's the idea that he fought each of these animal villains and defeated them.
He doesn't do that.
I beat you, now you have to do what I want.
No, I think they would tell him to screw up, because they're just dudes in costumes.
But he's since he's the master hunter and he has dominance over animals, he's just I'll just manipulate them somehow.
But how does that really work? Is it really just he's just obsessed with animals, so he picked the animal villains?
Yes. I mean,
man, it's too easy to hunt.
And he helps get Vulture out of prison, and he convinces the Lizard to go attack Spider-Man. He does have some influence over them. He's not just that crazy.
Right.
In this, actually, he's much less crazy than he will be in J.M. DeMatteis's Kraven's Last Hunt.
Right.
Where he blows his own head off. So the story is just the drama of Harry Osborn becoming Peter Parker's roommate, Peter Parker kind of distancing himself from Aunt May and having interest in Gwen, and Gwen and Mary Jane both having designs on Peter.
Right.
And Gwen has a much more traditional route where she's I like this guy, I think we should go out. And Mary Jane being well, I think he's great, and I'm just going to go out with him.
Yeah.
And Gwen's oh, now I have competition.
Right.
And this is, for me, a book that actually gives Gwen Stacy a personality. In the original book, she has a personality in that she's super
smart, right?
She's Betty from friggin' Archie.
Right.
She's the homebody, and she's sweet and nice.
Well,
and
is
can
Mary
cook.
Jane not Veronica?
Yes, she is. But she's not rich.
So they're just okay.
No,
all right, and
she's
Betty's
Veronica
not incredibly smart.
Yeah,
right.
But Mary Jane isn't. Mary Jane is like Veronica, spicy.
Yeah,
but she's also not a total bitch. Veronica is just a jackass.
Okay.
Who plays men against each other, and a bit of a tramp, if you ask me.
Well, I would say that Archie is a bit of a tramp.
Archie is a toolbox. Who the hell?
Yeah, why are they even interested in Archie? I never understood.
I know he's got a jalopy. He's got in a band.
Yeah.
He's a bad boy. He's always giving Mr. Weatherby trouble. I say, screw Archie Andrews. Go for Dilton Doily. He's smart. He's got a job.
I thought you were going to say Reggie.
Fuck Reggie. He's a jackass.
No.
Reggie's perfectly suited for Veronica.
Jughead deserves to get the girl.
Yeah, but Jughead's kind of asexual.
I wasn't going to go there. No, he's just repulsive.
What?
He's too goofy.
He is
too far.
Yep, he is.
Too far, man.
Yeah.
If you pull it back a little bit.
No, I think today, Jughead would be much more of a ladies' man. If you don't change a thing about him, then he'd still be like, I want that guy. You know why? Because he doesn't want me at all. He shows no interest in me.
Yep. He just wants burgers.
He just wants burgers.
He might not even be interested in girls.
Right,
I don't know.
but I want to find out.
You know what? I'm going to dress up as a burger and see what he does.
He'd eat you. You would die. Jughead's a weird character. Anyway, the other drama in this book is, of course, that, like, Harry wants Mary Jane.
Right.
So you got, like, Mary Jane wants Peter.
Right.
And Peter wants Gwen. But Harry wants MJ. And
Gwen just wants Peter.
Yeah. But she also knows that MJ doesn't care. Right. That's the thing. Like, so MJ winds up actually
MJ's
dating
like a
Harry.
Sex kitten, so she's just all over Harry.
Well, she's very liberated. She's like, who cares? Like, if the men can go out,
right,
then I can go out.
Yeah.
And so
I don't
she
have to wait for them to be like, ask me out on a date.
Well, also, I can date multiple guys. Yeah,
like you're dating me now.
She doesn't.
Well, she doesn't, but she does. She dates, it's great because it is also great character building for Flash Thompson, who was the big man on campus in high school, and now he's in college, and who gives a shit about that, you tool? Yep. You're wearing your high school Letterman jacket, dude. What's the matter with you? Like, he's trying to hook up with Mary Jane. Mary Jane's like, get the hell out of here, you tool! And he's like, what the hell is this?
Happening?
And he's like, hey Gwen, let's go. She's like, no. And he's like, there's moments where Peter rebuffs both Gwen and MJ so that he can be Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And Flash is like, what the fuck? And it actually allows Flash to grow because he's like,
what have I been doing my whole life?
Yeah, he's like, I don't get it. Like, girls are tripping over themselves over puny Parker.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's something wrong with me.
Right.
And later he has, and of course, the other irony is that in high school, Flash Thompson was the president of the Spider-Man fan club, which is hilarious.
Right.
And in this, he winds up getting rescued by Spider-Man. And the Vulture steals some money. And Spider-Man gets the money and Flash and leaves them on a rooftop. And
how's he get Flash?
Flash was in danger. Like, Flash is involved.
Oh, he's at the bank or something.
He's walking by. I think he's actually, like, reflecting on why he can't wrap his head around Peter Parker's sexual attractiveness. And then
the bag of money falls right in front of him.
And the payload lands in front of him. There we go. And
a piece of debris is coming at him, and
Spider-Man saves him. Yeah. And Spider-Man's like, you better make sure this money gets to where it goes, and not with you
into your pockets.
Yeah, and
I got shit to do.
Yeah, and Flash is like, wow, and that kind of everything's locked into perspective for Flash, and he's like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, if I'm not a jock, right? If that doesn't matter, that's what defined me. But if that's not who I am, and if I'm not an asshole, then what am I? And so he enlists.
Okay.
I'm going to go be a hero too.
Like Spider-Man. And that's the only way I know how to be a hero.
Then I'm going to go get PTSD.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's like a really interesting character building moment for Flash. Mm-hmm. And Peter's like, way to go, Flash. Like, holy shit. Like, I didn't think there was anything left to you. But, like, as it turns out, there's something else there. And that's really cool.
Cool.
So,
yeah. It's just a hyper, condensed, retelling of all the pivotal events before Gwen dies.
Yes.
But Peter and Gwen end up together at the end of this book?
Yes.
All right. How does that happen?
Okay.
What goes on to make sure that, he's with Gwen and
not with Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Most of it has to do with the fact that MJ is kind of dating Harry, and Harry is insanely jealous of Peter.
Because he can tell that Mary Jane likes him.
Yeah. And he's kind of like, you've already got Gwen.
Right.
Because Harry kind of views them a little bit like commodities.
Right. You already have that one. Why does this one want you?
Yeah.
You've got yours.
What am I
You've
supposed
got
to
yours,
do?
why can't I have mine? And it's like, you have to have a personality.
I don't need a personality, I have money.
That's right.
I shouldn't need one. He has the same problem as Flash. You understand.
Yeah, but Flash learns a lesson and Harry kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why Harry's destined to be the Green Goblin.
Yeah. But he also winds up marrying Peter's high school crush, Liz Allen.
Really?
Not in this book, but in the future. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with that, but, whatever.
So I'll get something of Peter's.
Who is Liz Allen?
Liz Allen is just a girl that went to high school that went steady with Flash Thompson in high school. And Peter always liked her. And then after college, or after high school, Liz reveals, I always had a crush on Peter Parker.
Okay, so it's not the fact that, like...
No, it's not that he's like, well, then I'll be with Liz. No, they just, through circumstance, being writers using all the same characters, Liz and Harry actually wound up together. And they have a kid named Little Normie, because Norman dies after Gwen Stacy's death, and so Harry names his son after his father, and then Little Normie in MC2 continuity becomes the next Green Goblin.
Well, it's hereditary.
Oh my god!
But then at some point during the marriage, Liz reveals, "Yeah, I always had a crush on Peter Parker," and Harry just
no!
Like, everybody
likes Peter Parker.
Fine, I like Peter Parker too. And he just grabs him and kisses him. He's like,
And Peter's like, "Whoa, Harry, what are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know anymore."
Well, you're just so damn attractive.
Through the natural progression of like it's a slow dance.
Yeah.
Of like, they go, Mary Jane keeps making advances, and Peter's like, listen, MJ, like, I keep thinking that you and Harry, and she goes like, why are you using labels? Mm-hmm. Like, who cares about Harry? Like, I think you're interesting, and you're also, like, really elusive.
Plus, you have a motorcycle.
Yeah. Plus, you have a motorcycle.
All the time, and that intrigues me.
That intrigues me, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's just some kind of, like, you've got, like a secret.
I just want to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to figure you out, Peter.
That's right. I want to
puzzle.
Yeah, you're a puzzle I can unlock. It's like, yeah.
Guess what? Inside that puzzle is just webs.
Yeah.
So you don't want to unlock that puzzle.
Psyche and webs.
But actually, there's a cute scene where Peter's sick. Mm-hmm. He gets the flu or something, and he's just holed up in his room in his apartment. And Mary Jane comes to visit him.
Right.
And she's got Aunt Anna's famous chicken soup recipe. And she's wearing, like, this ridiculous outfit. And with furs.
And she's like, I brought this because you have a fever. He's like, I have a fever. She's like, you will.
Well, and she gives it to him, and she's spoon feeding him. Oh my god. And he's and then he looks behind her, and Gwen is there, also looking amazing.
Yep.
Holding a copy of Huck Finn. And Peter says, "Wow." Which Mary Jane is like, "Wow, huh?" And he's like, "Huck Finn, like, my Uncle Ben used to read Huck Finn to me whenever I was sick."
Of course he did! God damn it.
No, but Gwen says, "That's funny you should say that, because I ran into an older lady named May who told me that your Uncle Ben used to..." Like, she went to Aunt May and was like, "What did you used to do?" She's trying to get with him, so she's being the good girl.
Right. Okay.
And so she went through his family. She found Aunt May, and she's like, "So, like, when Peter's not feeling well, what should I do?" And Aunt May was probably like, "Well, his Uncle Ben used to read Huck Finn. I have a copy." And she's like, "Oh, well, thank you."
Right, well, that's smart. I thought it was just coincidence where she's like,
no. She's using her intellect.
And then Peter says, like, hey, how about you and your chicken soup and you and your Huck Finn both come over to this bed and we all
There was no subtlety there. Oh, and you pick that soup, put it the fuck away, take that book, throw it out the window, and fuck me. Like, no.
Oh, come on, it's the 70s. We're swinging here. What's going on?
Come on.
Fucking Peter Parker.
Yeah, and Harry's like, "Me too." He's like, "Get the hell out of here." There ain't no fourth and a three-way, buddy. So, no.
Playing golf here.
But no, actually, Peter winds up like being like, "You have to go," because like the vulture's flying by, and he's like, "I have to go fight the vulture. I can't go out with either of these people."
Right.
And seeing Huck Finn reminded him of Uncle Ben and Power and Responsibility.
Right.
So he's like, "I'm sorry, Liz. Actually, what I really need is just some more bed rest." And they're like, really? I get that, like, you have to choose one of us, but the fact that you didn't choose either of us.
Yeah. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I get your elusiveness and your cute little hard to get, but you have to go with one of us. If you choose neither of us, then there's something wrong with you.
We're both throwing ourselves at you.
I don't know what else to do. So,
that's a legitimate reaction.
Yeah. So it's New Year's Eve, and that's going to be the party. Is like Harry and Flash and Gwen and MJ and Peter are going to be there. Mm-hmm. And actually, like, that at the New Year's party is when Flash reveals that he's going to enlist.
Okay.
And that's when, like, and throughout the story, Peter defeats the Rhino and the Lizard and the Vulture in various ways and through various ingenuity. Mm-hmm. And you can read the book or you can read the originals to see how he defeats them, and it's fun and clever and interesting.
Sure.
But who cares? But at the end, the fucking Kraven the Hunter,
of course,
bursts through the window because he uses his Kraven the Hunter scent. Like, oh no, that's right.
What?
Okay.
Like, his scent?
Like, yeah, like, almost like Wolverine, like Kraven the Hunter can smell his prey.
Oh, his sense of smell. Got it. I thought you meant like his musk.
Yeah, no. Well, it is kind of because Harry's getting ready for the party. He's like, Pete, can I use just some of your cologne? Because I need something of yours because whatever it is working.
And sense of smell is a highly
aphrodisiac. So he puts it on. So then Kraven smells Peter's cologne, and it's the same cologne he smells off of Spider-Man. So he assumes that Harry Osborn's Spider-Man.
Oh.
So
because Peter Parker never walks around with his cologne on.
So then Kraven bursts the party, and he attacks Harry, and then Spider-Man shows up and he saves the day and he rescues Harry and he gives Harry back to Norman Osborn, who's out of his coma but has amnesia and he's manic. Norman's like, "Oh, Spider-Man, thank you for saving my son." And he's like, you guys see his sweat dripping out of his face and you're like, "Oh shit, this is not going to end well." And indeed it does not, because after he has sex with Gwen Stacy, then he murders her.
Does Kraven the Hunter yell at Peter for being like, "You tricked me!
No.
You put this man in your cologne!" Ah!
No. Kraven the Hunter never figures out that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. So, he doesn't... No,
because that would have been amazing, because that would have given away that Peter Parker is Spider-Man to Harry.
Everybody, no.
Right.
No, just Harry. He's like, wait,
probably just reasoned that, multiple people might have the same cologne.
No, Harry reasons...
just because someone's wearing the same scent as somebody doesn't mean that they're the same person.
Well, no, he also, tracked him to that location or something. But yes, it's basically that. But no, Harry doesn't make that leap in logic, because Harry's kind of like, I'm rich. Naturally, someone would attack me.
Trying to get me for ransom or something.
Sure. I'm amazed that he didn't mention that it was because of his scent.
He says something, but
I smell you.
He does use expository dialogue to explain it during a scene when people would hear it. But much like when Marty McFly would say the wrong thing and then immediately say the right thing, and people would assume that he didn't say the first thing for no reason. They don't listen, and I'm assuming it's because it's just he's breaking through windows. They're trying to get away.
They're scared.
There's a naked guy wearing lion eyes over his nipples.
He's a lunatic. You can't take anything he says is
he's he's yelling about cologne. You're like, I can't. What?
Yeah. What
he's asshole with the spear's gonna kill me.
Who the fuck cares what Tarzan thinks?
He's clearly insane.
Well, it's snowing and you're wearing a loincloth. Clearly this guy is unbalanced.
And if Harry had asked Peter, Peter, he was saying all this stuff about me.
Right, can you imagine?
Well, Harry, I mean, clearly he's a madman.
Right, a madman.
Of course.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Then the Spider-Man defeats Kraven the Hunter. It's after midnight. He misses the party, the party. He misses everything.
What was his excuse? He just I gotta go.
I gotta take pictures of Spider-Man. That's his job at the Daily Bugle is always, I gotta go take pictures of Spider-Man.
I gotta leave the party and take pictures of Spider-Man.
Well, because I gotta get it for
or I will get fired.
Yeah, I'll get fired. J. Jonah Jameson's a hard ass. Everybody knows that.
Did he take a phone call? I don't.
No, he just
Was he oh, what? Oh, you need pictures right now?
No,
okay.
he's a freelance photographer. He's this is the news. I make the news. I'm going to go get pictures of Spider-Man.
They know that Spider-Man's going to come.
Yeah.
Because Kraven's here.
Because they hear the breaking glass. Okay.
Yeah. So Spider-Man defeats Kraven. He comes home. Everyone's gone to bed. Actually, he runs into Harry. No, well, he drops off Harry. He comes home and he's like, well, I didn't get to be with anybody.
Yeah.
Typical Peter Parker, didn't get anything.
Party's ruined.
And then he goes into his room and he takes off his Spider-Man costume and he puts it into the thing, and it's really dark. It's fucking pitch black in there.
Right.
And then Gwen, wearing this half dress, half negligee thing, comes out of the shadows and is like, "You missed the party." And he's like, "Oh shit!" And he tucks the mask into his drawer, because Gwen never finds out that he's Spider-Man.
Right.
So this is
even though he came in dressed as Spider-Man.
No, he came home dressed as Spider-Man, but it's actually, if she were waiting for him in the living room, that's when his goose would have been cooked. It just so happened that he went through a window, took off the top part, so he's just wearing blue pants or whatever, and gets into the bedroom, takes off his stuff, and then she comes out and she's like, what do you think? Oh, and Gwen has been leaving little Valentine notes for him.
Oh,
but as a secret admirer kind of thing.
Okay.
And Spider-Man kind of assumes. No, he gets a Valentine. And it's from somebody. It just says, "Will you be my Valentine?"
Okay.
And he's like,
Aunt May, you gotta stop.
And he thinks it's Aunt May or like Mary Jane, like.
Oh my god!
And so, and he has it on his dresser drawer or on his dresser, and Gwen's like, "Oh, this is cute," And he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "So?" And he's like, well, "So what?" She's like, "So will you be my Valentine?" And he's like, "It was you!" Yeah. And then they kiss. And the line is something like, "And that's when you had me, Gwen. All of me." And I guess implies they bang. But don't worry, Since Past retcons that shit. But no, they totally do.
Yeah.
And then
he's not wearing a shirt. She's in his room at night.
At night, no one's home.
Outfit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. And she's liberated, too. Like, no, this is happening.
Yeah.
So, then at the end, it's bookended. Like, we start with Spider-Man, married, goes to Gwen Stacy's death, location, and then goes to Aunt May's house and he's recording shit. Mm-hmm. And then he's back in Aunt May's attic recording shit, and he's
finishing up being like, we banged all night until the sun rose.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Shrieked
she showed me things I'd never even thought possible before.
And Mary Jane's like, "Wow." And he's like,
"Oh no!"
Yeah. But no, in fact, Mary Jane has been listening almost the entire time.
Oh, fuck.
But he does wrap it up in a nice little way before she reveals herself, where he says something like, so you would die a short while later, and then Mary Jane actually and I would wind up together, and we would get married, and she would show me how to love again. Like, she would actually teach me what love really is. And that's when when she shows up, and he's like, "Oh shit, how long have you been listening to me profess my my feelings to a dead person?"
Right.
And she just says, and
talk about how I'm Spider-Man.
Right. Well, no, Mary Jane and he are married.
Okay, thank God they know.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Or she knows.
Yeah. So, she says... She basically says, Gwen and I were friends. Like,
right.
She's my friend, too. Like, could you tell her, hi for me?
Aww.
And he hands her the mic. He's like, "Tell yourself."
He doesn't.
He drops the mic and leaves.
No, he doesn't do that. It's weird. It ends, and then she leaves, and then he says, "So, on Valentine's Day, I feel blue. Like jazz singers do. And so, that's how you make me feel, Gwen." And that's why it's called Spider-Man Blue, because, it's like the blue mood for jazz and for Picasso and feelings and stuff like that.
And then he goes out to a jazz club and he dances.
And he dances it out and sings a song and dances in the face of Mary Jane, just destroys it. He sinks the franchise.
Yeah.
And they have to come up with a new Spider-Man.
See, I don't understand the thing you guys are talking about. Why would they ever even make that?
It's true. That would be ridiculous.
Lame.
Spider-Man Blue is just a cute story that gives Gwen Stacy personality. And it ends on a kind of somber note, but I think it's more like a reflective, thoughtful note, like a musical note,
right?
Than on a sad, this sucks ending,
right?
Yes, she's dead, but she lives on in your memory and your thoughts.
Right. And what happened made him and MJ who they are.
Exactly. That's the real strength of the title, is that it highlights and celebrates the love that Peter lost in Gwen Stacy and creates a character in her. It actually winds up, in essence, even though it's a self-contained graphic novel that doesn't have to be part of continuity, retconning what people like about Gwen Stacy, because a lot of people didn't know why they liked Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And this book kind of helps you realize it.
It's more than just Peter liked her, so I guess she was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Peter vouches for her. But it also then doesn't negate what we have. It doesn't say that she was the greatest love.
Yeah, and that no one else could ever measure up.
No, he never says that, nor does his profession, betray it. It's just, this is a thing that happened, and I don't run away from it.
Right.
I acknowledge it, it happened, and it's over.
And it grew from it.
And I grew from it. That's the other thing, is that it was a point of growth. It's why I don't like the resurrection of Jason Todd. Because for me, the death of Jason Todd, even though it was a robocall prank, as it turns out, if you don't know this, the death of Jason Todd was predicated on a 900 number, and fans would vote, and everyone for 25 years said fans kill Jason Todd. Then it turned out that one guy used a robocalling machine to skew the numbers. But thank God, because we have the greatest failure in Batman's history. And Batman can grow from it. And
the greatest failure in Batman's history was
the death of his parents. Yes, the inability from an 8-year-old boy to stop a homicidal gunman in an alley.
Yeah. I kind of get the feeling that Batman now would still be like, that was my greatest failure.
He would.
Oh, he does. He's like, no, I should have.
Well, Batman, how could you possibly? You were a child.
You were 8 years old.
I should have found a way.
Yeah, no, 8-year-olds don't have like Tibetan training.
Well, I should have.
Well, that was my fault. For not getting trained when I was 8.
Well, then it was really your parents' fault for not training. So I don't like Jason Todd's Resurrection because it negates Batman's greatest failure.
Yeah.
Because after that, Batman grows. Like, Batman is like, no, he changes and grows. No partners. And then you get like the resurrection of the loner, like, creature of the night Batman.
Yeah.
And then you get to have like an organic retreading of like why we need Robin, of like the light part of Batman, like the light in Batman's shadow, and creating a new modern Robin through Tim Drake, and growing from that. That's cool. Resurrecting Jason Todd's like, I failed, but it's okay because Superboy punched reality and now you're back. Like, that's stupid.
But you're kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but you're kind of a dick.
It's really ambiguous.
Right.
Whether that's good or not. And kind of ruins the memory of Jason Todd.
Exactly!
For everyone, not just me.
But
not just people in this world, but anybody who might be
know the story
in some other world.
Yeah. This doesn't do that. This allows you to celebrate Gwen Stacy while also, moving forward and, maintaining that Mary Jane is important. And it's funny because, like, after undoing the marriage for Mary Jane, there is no Spider-Man Red for MJ. Like, you could do it, but you could end it. Actually, you could do a Spider-Man Red where, like, it ends with, like, the devil showing up and undoing the marriage. But it would be fucking depressing.
Yeah, what would you learn from that?
You learn that sometimes there are things out of your control that you have no power over, and you just gotta live with it.
Well, they're called editors.
Yes, that's right. Is that sometimes you will care about a thing, and that thing will betray you. Yeah, that's the lesson to learn from Spider-Man Red. But you can't do it because, like, there is no organic story there.
No, it's so
artificial. Unless you do end it with the devil,
right?
Then there's no real.
But that's not organic. Like,
no, but that's editorial frustrated, like, pushing.
Yeah, it's so, like,
heavy-handed
from nowhere.
Yes,
for no reason.
Out of left field, the devil shows
Anybody would have, if you could do that, everybody would be doing it all the time.
Yes,
the devil would just be constantly changing reality because everybody wants to,
something,
like, save someone's life or unmake something that happened.
Right, and some of those people are important. Enough to warrant the devil's
people
notice.
Are more important than Peter Parker.
Yes, in fact, there are quite a few of them.
Yeah,
but you can't have that. You can't highlight, like, the love of Mary Jane and how that informed the character and made him grow. But now we're in this new place and we can enjoy it. Like, which is why I think so many fans are frustrated because it's not an organic, like, push forward. It's a grinding halt and then an abrupt turn left from
and you're still like,
story.
Why aren't they together?
Right, like, why didn't it work? And the many loves that he's had since then are so forgettable and interchangeable that it's like, who cares? Like, you could even do a Spider-Man Black and White, and it's about dating a crazy person.
Hey! Watch what you're talking about.
That's right. It's about Black Cat. Like, you can legitimately do a book where it's like, what if you only dated someone for superficial reasons? Because it's actually because Mary Jane wouldn't eventually be with Peter until after his relationship with Black Cat. So you could actually do a story from Spider-Man Blue, Spider-Man Black and White, Spider-Man Red, where you could do, like, Black Cat is the transition.
Right.
Spider-Man's love life is highlighted in that or something. I don't know. Look, Jeff, I'm not writing this shit. You do it. But, you could... But anyway, I like this story. I've always enjoyed it. I bought this. I remember seeing it, like, just in a comic shop, and I'm like, what's this? Because back then I was
blue. It's blue all the way through.
Yeah.
And
I was like, what is this? I always, like, knew Gwen Stacy. I had read the night that Gwen Stacy died, and that's kind of it. And that sucks. Like, if a character is defined by their death, then they're not a really strong character.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah, well... Yeah. Well, thankfully, we've been able to retcon in so many Uncle Ben parables and stories that, you've created a fully rounded character out of him. But, No. Like, no, you know what? Ultimate Spider-Man, he's a three-dimensional character. He's really cool. 616, Uncle Ben, like, he's a plot device. Yeah. Like, Uncle Ben is a hang-in-there kitty poster from Peter Parker. Like,
you always let me die.
I'll always be dead, and you can never change it. It's just a picture of Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And it says,
Peter would make that.
Yep. With great power comes great responsibility. That's his hang-in-there kitty poster. That's fucking hilarious.
Someone make that.
No, we'll make that. Don't you do it. We'll do it and sell it in the store.
Dibs. We have dibs.
That's dibs. Anyway, Spider-Man Blue, you can pick it up in the description box down below this video. I highly recommend it. And if you guys had any interest in Spider-Man, I'd say read the hell out of it because you might enjoy it. Because it pays homage to what came before. It's also not like a modern retelling.
Right.
It's like the Rhino, but he's a fucking mech suit and shit. No, he's a fat guy in a stupid suit he can't take off. That's it. I can't go to the bathroom.
He can't take it off?
No.
That's terrible.
He doesn't go to the bathroom.
In the suit.
There's no question, like...
Forever?
Yeah. And that's why the Rhino just keeps getting bigger.
Spider-Man actually defeats him by creating a solvent web fluid that melts the suit off of him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sometimes Rhino can't take the suit off, and sometimes he can take it.
I mean, I assume, like, he can't take the suit off, but, like, he finds a way to, like, go around it. Like, he can wash.
Bowels find a way.
Well, I'm sure there's a tail on the suit.
Yeah, maybe there's a little hole and it comes out. Do they ever say in the comic that, like, his poop just accumulates inside the suit? Or do they just not address it at all?
They just don't address it.
I feel like they'd be great for, like, the superior foes of Spider-Man. Like that book.
Nick Spencer would fucking have a field day with a Rhino suit poop hole.
Is it that the suit isn't just like a piece of plastic around it? It's actually like a bioorganic thing, so it's like not part of his body or something.
I think it becomes part of his body.
Yeah.
The way like a fat person becomes part of a couch. They don't move.
Okay, well that's not what I was going with. I was going for like it becomes integrated with his like
with his physiology.
Yes.
So like his butt is a rhino.
It becomes a rhino butt.
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
I mean like
I'm trying to help.
Originally they said like I can't take it off, and that was part of his pathos.
Right.
But like
they never really thought about it.
Yeah, because when they drew him, they like drew it to contour to his body, so like it was skin tight.
Yeah.
There's no zipper. Like I don't know. As a kid, I remember I read all the old Spider-Man books. Like I had them all, like from a CD that somebody made. And damn, like I read them all. I'm like, yeah, like Rhino sometimes just a suit. And sometimes they never really say like, I can't poop. I'm surrounded by feces.
Have you tried Metamucil?
Yeah. No, it's not. I can poop. It's just
it's fiber.
I'm insulated by it. That's horrifying. It just eventually just comes out the front.
Yeah, it's just from every scene.
Oh my god! He's just every once in a while he's like, Sandman, you gotta do it. You got it. And Sandman just squeezes him. Just
no, Sandman somehow creeps in the side of the suit, so it's like kitty litter. And then he like absorbs.
He's like, oh god, this is the worst part. He puts on his mask and just shakes through the sides. We just took a turn for the gross, and I apologize. I don't think we've ever really gone that gross. I'm looking forward to seeing where we go from here. All different back issues, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. And hey, if you want to pay for this.
If you want to pay for these great conversations.
Oh my god! You can go to patreon.com/ComicPop. We got different tiers and levels, and you get different rewards. It'll never be behind a paywall, but if you want to see this improve and watch better stuff, you can help us get there by doing that. It's kind of a fun little thing. We got quite a few people in there now. It's really working out.
30-some people?
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty nice. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. I am Sal.
I'm Ethan. And I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.